In April 2018, the peaceful town of Wadsworth, Ohio, was shaken by a tragedy so unthinkable it left the entire community reeling. A 98-year-old woman, beloved by all who knew her, was found dead in her own home. Not from natural causes, but by the hands of someone no one ever suspected. This is the heartbreaking story of Margaret Douglas, a woman who lived a full, long life, only to have it end in the most unexpected and tragic way. But this is more than a crime story. It's a story of trust, community, justice, and questions about whether our system really protects those most vulnerable. Margaret Douglas was 98 years old at the time of her death. A lifelong resident of Wadsworth, she was described as independent, sharp, kind-hearted, and incredibly active for her age. She still lived alone, took care of her home, and was often seen by neighbors working in her yard or walking to church. To everyone around her, she was more than just a senior citizen. She was a local treasure. On April 9, 2018, Margaret's nephew grew concerned after not hearing from her. When he entered her home, he discovered a terrible scene. Margaret was gone, and it was immediately clear that something horrific had happened. Her body was later found hidden in a closet inside her home. Authorities quickly ruled it as a homicide and launched a full investigation. There were no signs of forced entry, no obvious suspects, just shock and confusion. As police reviewed surveillance and community reports, a disturbing lead emerged. A 17-year-old neighbor named Gavin Ramsey. Ramsey had already come to police attention for suspicious behavior in the neighborhood, such as trespassing and bizarre online activity. It was discovered that Ramsey had entered Margaret's home while she was asleep, filmed her without her knowledge, and later took her life. The details of the case were disturbing, and while we won't describe them in graphic terms, it's important to understand that the crime was calculated, intentional, and deeply disturbing. Ramsey was arrested and charged with aggravated murder and other related offenses. He was tried as an adult. In 2019, Ramsey pleaded guilty and was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The courtroom was filled with members of Margaret's family and local community members, many of whom expressed both grief and relief. Margaret's family said that they hoped no one would ever forget what happened to her, and that justice, while it couldn't undo the pain, was the only way forward. But justice isn't always as permanent as it seems. In 2021, Ohio passed Senate Bill 256, which eliminated life without parole for juvenile offenders in most cases. Under this new law, Ramsey could be eligible for parole after serving 25 years, despite the nature of the crime and the previous sentencing. This news devastated Margaret's family. Many felt that the system had failed her once during her life, and now might fail her memory again. They've since spoken out publicly, urging the justice system not to forget victims, especially the most vulnerable ones. The story of Margaret Douglas is not just about a tragic crime. It's about the importance of protecting the elderly. It's about how quiet communities can be shaken by unexpected violence. And it's about asking hard questions. Are we doing enough to safeguard people like Margaret? Are victims' rights being overshadowed in policy changes? Her family continues to remember her as a woman of dignity, grace, and strength. A woman who deserved peace, not pain, and whose memory deserves justice, not compromise. If Margaret Douglas's story moved you, share it. Talk about it. Because sometimes keeping a memory alive is the first step toward justice that lasts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more true stories that deserve to be heard, with respect, facts, and purpose.